what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it. I took Marvin Harrison Jr.'s game log, Jake, and put it next to Malik Nabers. And this is all in pursuit of, this question of, okay, who should be the Biletnikoff winner and whatever. I know this is now turned into the LSU Homer show. We're just yelling that our players should win the awards. But, it sucks because we talk about this publicly, and so that's immediately how we're going to be painted. And that just is what it is. But maybe just let the numbers do the talking here.
Words lie, numbers don't.
Yeah. Well, someone will be like, well, you can manipulate numbers. So we will engage in, minimal number manipulation. Okay, we will just look at what they say. Okay, let's think about best game this season. The best game that Malik Nabers had against Mississippi State, he went for 13 catches, 239, 2 touchdowns. The best game that Marvin Harrison Jr. has had was Maryland, where he went for 8 catches. Actually, maybe not. Well, okay. So 8 catches, 163 and a touchdown. But then let's say no. Penn State was actually his best game, even though it wasn't most yards. 11 catches, 162 touchdown in a game they had to win against quote unquote they won. Okay, well, let's look at what Malik Nabers did against Alabama. Statistically, his second best game, 10 catches, 171 and a touchdown against a much better team than Penn State. Okay, so best game, Malik Nabers has the edge in 2 different ways. What about worst game? Against Indiana to start the season, Marvin Harrison Jr. got held for 2 catches for 18 yards. Against Florida State to start the season, Malik Nabers got held for 6 catches and 67 yards. Once you get past that 67, week 2, 87 yards and 5 catches against Grambling is Malik's worst game. In fact, Malik has 3 games under 100 yards. And it's Florida State, it's Grambling, and it's Auburn. Marvin Harrison Jr. has 4 games under 35 yards. Against Indiana, 2 for 18. Against Notre Dame, 3 for 32. No touchdowns in either of those games. Against Rutgers, 4 for 25. At least he caught 2 touchdowns. And then against Minnesota this last week, 3 for 30 with 1 touchdown.
4 for 25.
4 for 25 against Rutgers. 2 for 18 and no touchdowns against Indiana. And then in a big game against Notre Dame getting shut down. I mean, again, what's the angle? Malik Nabers has 80 catches. Marvin Harrison Jr. has 62. Malik Nabers has 1,424 yards. Marvin Harrison Jr. has 1,093. Malik Nabers averages 17.8 yards a catch. Marvin Harrison, 17.6. And then, granted, Jr. has 13 touchdowns. Malik Nabers has 12. It's again, and if you don't want to give it to Nabers, whatever. But Troy Franklin, Roma Dunze, like any of these other guys deserve it over Marvin Harrison Jr. this year. It's just a fact.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. And even the Heisman conversation, when I see Marvin Harrison Jr. last week coming into it, had the 4th best odds, I'm like, hold up. Like, that makes me, I think, scratch my head even more because 4th in Heisman odds when, honestly, like, he should be 4th in Biletnikoff.
Yeah.
Like, that was the thing. And, again, like, this is not hating on Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's a hell of a football player who's going to play a long time on Sundays. He deserves to be a first-round pick. He probably deserves to be a top 10 pick, and I think he's going to be all of those things. But when you take a look at what Malik Nabers is doing, what Roma Dunze is doing, they're doing it, and they're doing it in the Power 5, and they're just doing it at a higher level. It is what it is. Like, that's the situation. Like, some of these games that you have 3 for 32, when you have 4 for 25, when you have 3 for 30, when you have 2 for 18, well, the other guys in the conversation, they just don't have those games. We've talked about it. We've laid out Malik Nabers' worst game is 67 yards. And then really you don't have too many more that are even close to that. So that part of it just is what it is. And so, like, the Heisman conversation, that doesn't even need to be talked about. And then the Biletnikoff, there's some other guys that right now are doing it at a higher level in the Power 5.
I mean, Troy Franklin's got 8 more catches. He's got over 200 more yards, and he's got 1 more touchdown. And Oregon's incredible as well. Like, so, okay, so give it.
That's
give it
the
to
thing.
Troy
Like,
Franklin.
okay, take Malik out of it. Like, let's just say that you're only going, you want to go record again for the Biletnikoff. The things that T-Bob's talking about, Washington and Oregon, like, they're right there in the thick of it.
Yeah.
I mean, Washington has the same record as Ohio State with the same opportunities. Oregon, if they continue to win, they're going to have maybe the same opportunities. And so it's not just an LSU conversation. It's just looking at the award. And again, Marvin Harrison Jr. has played great, but he has not played as the best receiver in the country this year.
How about Brian Thomas leads the country in touchdowns with 14. He also leads everybody we've been talking about this segment with 18.5 yards per catch. Brian Thomas, I didn't realize he had 1,000 yards this last game. So you now have your dual 1,000-yard receivers. He did it in 55 catches. 55 catches for 1,021 yards. Again, according to Nick Underhill's sources, 3 top 20 NFL prospects in Malik Nabers, Brian Thomas, and Jaden Daniels.
Brian Thomas's year is, you could stack his up with what Marvin Harrison Jr. is doing. We were talking about that during one of the breaks.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, they're closer to one another.
They are closer than actually Malik and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr., 99 yards a game. Brian Thomas, 92 yards a game. Marvin Harrison Jr., 13 touchdowns. Brian Thomas, 14. On the season, Harrison has about 90 total yards. He's gotten by 6 catches. So, yeah, much more, much closer, much more comparable to wide receiver 2 at LSU than the other way around. Why did Jim Nickel just text me this? He says, just tuning in. Did Coach Hester give an update on his team's loss in the championship game last week? This sounds pointed.
Yeah, really.
What's going on here? What happened? I did not. What happened?
No, I ain't. Dang, Jim. All right, Jim.
Oh,
Jim.
man.
All right, bro.
Look,
no, we play. Look, we play. You like on the spot, Jim. Just be ready. No, we played a great team. Team we tied in the regular season. Got great friends on the other team, and they played better that night. There you go. That's what it is.
Hell yeah. There you go, dude.
But Jim, you better be ready on the spot next time I see you.
Was Jim? Was he in the opposing?
I don't think so.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
I didn't know traction chatter went far and wide.
I mean,
that.
One thing I am
down to the Capitol, huh?
Not looking forward to is I don't know about, man. Some stories I hear, y'all take this stuff super seriously. I'm out here. I'm
some more than others.
Jim says he has NIL with the other team. His name, image, likeness with the team he lost to. So,
cool.
So he's monetarily involved.
Some more than others as far as like the serious level. But I will say, you're at the bottom of that considering you haven't won a game in multiple sports.
No.
But
0 for 3 seasons for your boy.
Once Quad Bob gets up there and he's out there mauling people on the offensive line, I like to revisit where you're at.
Yeah, look, we'll see. We'll see. I agree. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I suffered some heartbreak with the Pink Pandas this year. I still think the ref should have blown the whistle in the game that we tied way earlier. How convenient.
Yeah, were you looking at the watch?
Yeah, how convenient that suddenly the opposing coach calls the game right after it's tied up. But whatever, All right. When we get back, okay, look, we've laid it out. Marvin Harrison Jr. should not win the Biletnikoff. And again, this is the thing about award season, playoff discussions. We're not saying these players are bad. Obviously, they're incredible. But when you're deciding between incredible versus incredible, you have to critique, right? And so, Marvin Harrison Jr. is better than 99% of players, but there are a couple who are better than him and are more deserving this award season. And it just happens to be that for a lot of you listening, a couple of them play for your favorite team. We'll see. We will see where this ends up going. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.